Hello, friends. Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we are doing the highly anticipated lineup video for 2024. I'll be talking a little bit about my current planner setup, as well as the planners that I'm hoping to be using in 2024. You guys will kind of understand once we get into it. I also have some accessories and stuff ready to go for 2024. So I'll just talk about what I'm planning on and what I have ready to give you guys a good idea about how my planner setup for 2024 is going to go. If that sounds good, let's jump in. I have what I call a frankenplanner. It depends on who you talk to. It could be called a catch-all planner as well. But basically, I've combined 5 different planners into this one planner, along with some other sections that I use in order to kind of organize my life. It's all in one. I don't like to have separate planners, but I'll be talking about how I put those 5 individual planners from single planners into this. I'll be showing you what I'm planning to do for 2024 as we go. Okay, so like I said, this is a frankenplanner. I've done a few videos on how I've set it up, how I organize it tab-wise and on the dividers, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But I'll also link those videos down below if you want a real detailed look at my planner setup as it is in this one planner. Okay, so that said, these are the planners that I'm thinking of using for 2024. They are basically planners that I've built myself using discs and covers that I've had in my Happy Planner stash. Had a lot of Happy Planners in the past, but mainly I use my own inserts nowadays. So I just use the covers and the discs from those previous planners in order to help me organize the planners for the year. And then once that year is over, I archive them and reuse the discs and the covers and the dividers as well, as you'll see. But that said, let's start off with the planners that I'm going to be putting into my catch-all next year. So my faith planner is, like I said, just a mix of items that I've combined to make a faith planner out of it. I'll talk about the inserts that I'm planning to use, but these are some metal rose gold discs from the Happy Planner, along with a faith Happy Notes cover I got maybe 3 years ago. Really loved this design, so I'm happy to have it on my faith planner again this year. I'm also using some dividers from a faith planner I got last year on clearance from Hobby Lobby. The dividers have the start of the monthly on the back. I haven't bothered covering it or anything. This is now out of date. I may at one point want to use it and redate it, but for now, I have it here just as a divider, and I've put in enough for the entire year. The insert that I'm going to be using is from my Etsy shop, like I mentioned. This is the quadrant layout, combined quadrant layout with a faith overview insert added in. This year, I've moved my faith overview insert to the very first spread in my flow. And so this is available. You can see it's already pre-decorated. I did decorate this before I did the lineup video. I was really struggling with a few of my planners, which, I'll mention as we get to them. But this one was pretty sure that I was going to do what I decided to do. Pretty much the same as last year. Overview, just in a different spot in the flow. And then we have the monthly layout, and the weeklies will be this quadrant layout. A little bit about how I use my faith planner if you are new to my channel. So on here, it's pretty self-explanatory. I have a prayer list. I also have some morning habits that I do through my faith planning journey. I do like a Bible reading and a morning prayer, a scripture kind of summary, and the lettering. So I track that here in the habit trackers, prayer list, like I said. And then over here, there are some currently prompts that you can do each month, kind of checking in on your spiritual wellness and just how you're feeling. So I have that there as well. Here I usually do a verse of the month, so I'll letter in a verse just to kind of think about for the month. And that's pretty much it that I will do on this layout. Next, we have the monthly overview, and here is where I put in the Bible reading that I do every day. I go through the Bible once a year, so I'll do whatever that scripture reading is for the day and then do a brief summary about what I read, some kind of takeaway application that I can apply to my life. And so that's how I use the monthlies. And then the weeklies, I do a verse of the day lettering segment on each of the days. So that's how I use it. I also, as you can see, decorate the whole month in advance so that it's all in the same theme, and that just makes my weekly decor part of my planning a little bit easier, I feel. And at the back, I've gotten a few suggestions from some really awesome viewers of my channel. And these little white dots are flying off, so sorry. Some viewers on my channel. So I'm going to start with this one suggestion, which was how God's working in my life, and do it by week. So each week I'll just kind of put a little summary of how I see God working in my life. This was suggested by Humble Voyager, so thank you very much for your suggestion. I got another one that I'm going to try to for February. That should be pretty fun. Just trying some different things for this back page, which I've struggled with using this past 2023. So I'm excited to try some things out and hopefully get some use out of the back page of this planner. I've only printed the very first month because, like I said, I've been struggling with my lineup and just how I want everything to flow. So we're going to give this one, the first month, try everything out. I'm sure this one will be fine and I'll just, add in the rest soon. But for now, this one is just printed for January. So that is my faith planner. And next we'll go into my health planner. So my health planner is a collection of things from my stash and my inserts. I've got some really pretty metal blue discs that I got off of a faith planner a couple of years ago, as well as this cover, which I think was a Happy Notes that I got, again, quite a while ago. I like to reuse the covers and things since, again, I'm not really buying that many Happy Planners at this time. Again, I have some dividers that are being repurposed from a planner I didn't use. This was another faith planner, so I have the January through December in here, but again, there is a half of a monthly on the back. I went back and forth on whether I wanted to convert these into just pure dividers by covering these up. I might still do that, but I still have all the inserts as well. So if in the future I do want to actually use that planner as a planner, I have the full planner at my disposal. I also have printed these from my shop, but this planner in particular was one that I really needed to create some new items for to really help me be more effective in this planner. So none of these first items I'm going to show you are in my shop as of yet. I think I'm going to work them for the first month here in January, see how they work, make sure there's nothing that I would rather change before I actually put them in my shop. I was thinking to try to get them in my shop before the end of the year, but I really want to kind of live with them a while and make sure they're the most efficient they can be before putting them out into the public. So just keep that in mind. If you see something you like, I could also, if you really are dying for something that you see here, you could reach out to me on Etsy and I can see about doing a custom item for you. So this first spread is going to be, again, kind of my overview spread, but this is a very custom layout. So what I've done is I've combined this layout, which is very similar to the monthly overview in my shop, with a bit of the elements that are in that spread, but also added in a monthly step tracker. I like to track my steps, and I thought it would be really nice to see it in a chart format where I could actually see the levels of steps that I'm getting each day. I have a tendency to either go very light, so no more than 3K, and then I'll have days where I'm 14, 15K. So it's one or the other if I actually take a long walk that day or I don't. I would really like to up that so it's a little bit more of a median level of steps each day at minimum. I'm hoping that this chart will help me to do that. I also have this little area that I wasn't really sure how to use, so I think I'm going to make this like a monthly focus for, not really like a health goal, but just something to keep in mind for the month. Maybe it's, something like not eating sugar or, fasting longer or something. I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm putting aside for that box. I also have this habit tracker area here, which I've used in the past for tracking habits like closing my Apple Watch rings, getting 7,000 steps, bonus points, which is something I will be adding in. And then I think, this one will vary, whether it's like personal care or just some goal that I'm trying to reach. So maybe these will coordinate when I get to it. Haven't quite decided yet. I'm really unsure about this layout. Like, I've spent quite a bit of time trying to formulate how best this should go. So it's, like I said, very tentative for me. We will see how January fits in, but it should be good. It should be good. I think I'll be all right. And then I have a little area here just to do a summary of maybe what's going on here in the steps, or I don't know. We'll figure that out. Maybe even like a little chart. I don't know. Over here, we have, like I said, the monthly overview, which is similar to the one that's in my shop. I just added the header workouts. Here, I'm planning on doing workout tracking. So either I'm going to pre-plan the workouts so I know what I'm supposed to do on each day. I'll be doing a little bit more strength training, hopefully, in 2024. So I can set aside those days where I'll be strength training and what I'm going to be doing for the strength training. Also, too, I can pre-plan my routine here at the bottom, which is what I was thinking. If I'm doing, say, upper body, I can write down the upper body routine here and then know which day I'm supposed to be doing it, etc. We'll see how that goes. I think this should be fine. It should be enough room. I have done something similar last year or maybe in the beginning of the year and had a single month and then on the back did the routine. So we will do that. Still have all these little tiny flecks of white on my fingers. But I'm excited for this layout, and hopefully that will help me keep better track of what I should be doing on each day. So this is where I would normally put my monthly spread. So, usually in a Happy Planner, you get a 2-page monthly spread. I just have not found a good way to use that for myself regularly in my health planner. So what I decided to do is replace that with these monthly charts. This one being my meds and supplements chart, but in a little bit different format. I've been previously doing this as a habit tracker, but horizontally. And so I thought I would try it vertically so I don't actually have to turn my planner in order to fill it out. I'll just write in whatever it is that I am tracking here, and then I can also divide it up. This is what I was thinking with this bar, because I usually have meds and supplements for my chronic sinus issues, for my asthma, and then I also have it for, skincare, things like that. So it would be nice to kind of just have it divided up, and I can figure out where the division should be depending on what I'm taking at the time. Also, too, I have it for 31 days. We'll see how this goes. Oh, I also see something that needs to be fixed. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, we need to fix that. Good thing that I haven't put this out there yet. So I have the meds and supplements set up. There is a chance that I will be blocking off some of this for tracking my mood, sleep, and stress. I've seen that chart out there, and I think that would be a really good use of a tracker to have in my health planner. You only need about 10 lines to do that, and then I could do it, block it off and make it set up that area, but it will depend on how many meds and supplements I'm taking at the time. But if I can fit it in for the month of January, I'll definitely try that out. Also, too, I have this new symptom tracker. This symptom tracker is still, like I said, a work in progress. I tried a few different options for this. I think I've decided on this as being a good starting point. I can put in my symptoms for my chronic issues, like I mentioned, that I want to track and see how they're going, I like to use like a small dot for something light. And then if it's really bad, I'll put in like a larger and larger dot until it almost fills the square. So that's how I've been tracking like severity of symptoms. But I also kind of want to see just how bad the day was in general with all my symptoms. So this will be more of a chart going across, and you'll see like, I don't know if I want to do a line or if I want to actually do almost like a highlighted bar graph showing how bad the severity of the symptoms are each day. I also want to start tracking my triggers. Like, I know for sure the day before it's going to rain, I usually get really allergic and I have a big reaction. So things like that, I'm going to be trying to see what other triggers I can identify and kind of keep track of how they correspond to the symptoms. I also have this long column here, which at first I didn't have, but I think I really like having a quick kind of summary of my overall month. And if there was a lot of bad days, or if I was super stuffy, for 2 weeks straight, or, whatever it is, so that I can just quickly read what was going on with me that month instead of really drilling down too much into the daily, just kind of seeing patterns more so than the daily minutia. This will kind of take care of the daily, and then this will be more of the pattern overview. So that's what I'm thinking. We will, of course, test it out and see how it goes, but that's where I'm at now with this chart, and we will tweak it if need be as I get into it. And then for my health overview, week, where I do pretty much my tracking of any workouts and the stats related to that workout. I also track my food. So I do a mini food log, and then I also put in my stats from my Apple Watch. So my daily stats of steps and minutes exercise, sleep. I'm also going to add into my stats my water intake. I used to have a water tracker that I added customized into the sidebar, which was great, but I think it would just be as easy to add it to my stat stickers that I usually add to the spread, and then write down the number of ounces that I drink. So that's what we're going to try out for January. I also have this line layout, but I've removed the top box layout and just did the fully lined. See if I like that any better. It gives you a little bit more room at the top for decorating and at the bottom. So I thought that might be handy for making these spreads a little bit more fun. I also played around with the idea of doing a vertical only layout. So just basically blank with the 3 divisions, just for something new this year. I don't know. Again, I've only printed 1 month. I will kind of sit with this in January and see how it goes, and then, adjust accordingly if need be. But for now, we're starting with this line vertical layout. Again, all of these are, this is in my shop. The other 2 layouts I just showed you are not in my shop yet because, like I said, I'm working through them. But this is available in my shop if you'd like to see this layout in your health planner or another planner. So I have that in there, and then we'll go ahead and go to the back page, which again is something else new I'm adding in, my fasting hours. So I have this chart here, another chart. There's a lot of charts in this planner, so I'm not real sure how much I'm going to like it, but we'll see. I really like the information and the data, but there is a lot of charts and not a lot of prettiness, so we'll have to try to make it fun. Anywho, I have this, it says steps. That's not what it should say, so I will need to reprint this page. Let me just quickly grab a pen. I told you guys I wasn't quite ready for this. So yes, I will need to reprint this page. This should be days or something else like that, or hours to correspond to this. But basically, I've done a 24-hour day across, and then I also have a space here for the total hours fasted. This, I think, is going to be good just so I can get an overview at a glance, which is what I'm doing now in my monthly. But having the chart also kind of show you when I started eating and when I stopped, just kind of seeing how far I go. And I guess since this is going to be redone, I'll show you an example of what I'm thinking to do. So for the first day, these will be the actual days that correspond to the date. And then say I start eating at 3, I'll put a little maybe dot. and then say I stop eating at 7. And then I'll connect those with a line. And then maybe the next day I end up eating really early. Oh, wait, this is AM. I probably won't eat in the morning, so let's fix that real quick. I'll eat in the evening at 3 and then to 7. And then say the next day I have, I start eating early for maybe an event or something, and then eat really late like a snack. So we'll have it like that. So that's kind of how I envision it, and just kind of going through. I don't know if I need both because I'm really doing mainly 1 meal a day fasting for the most part, although some days I do snack a little bit late after I eat an early meal. But for the most part, it's 1 meal a day. So there's a lot of time where I basically don't see myself using this area at all, which is why this is still in flux, because this might just be wasted space that I could be using for something else. I'll see how January goes, and if that's the case, I might make another version that's a little bit more drilled down to the actual hours I think I'll be eating. And then, like I said, I'll figure out how many hours fasted. So between here, I would be going from 7 to 12. So that would be 5 plus 12, which would be 17 hours. Sorry, I was trying hard to write here in this little area. Okay, so you get a little bit of an example. That's really bad handwriting, but there you go. So there it is. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully I can make this a little cuter. Maybe I'll do it with a highlighter or something, but that's the overall gist of it. And then I was also thinking to do some kind of summary down here at the bottom, maybe. There are going to be some other inserts placed in here at the back, which are going to be annual inserts. They're going to be, a way to track my weight daily for the entire year. I'm thinking to do a monthly stats tracker. So even though I have my daily stats, I want to see an overall monthly view. So I'll have that in there. And also my measurements, my body measurements. Haven't quite figured out the layouts I want for those yet. I'm tweaking some things around, but that's what I'm working on for this part of the planner, which I'll just kind of fit in at the back. So that is my health planner for now. And again, I've only printed this very first month. All right, so let's move on to the next one. For this next planner, I am still undecided on which way I want to go. I have this horizontal happy planner ready and willing and able. However, I need an hourly layout. So I have an hourly layout set up here, but I also need a place to drop in to-dos and appointments before I set up my hourly. So I'll just talk a little bit about it and what I'm thinking, but let's start off with my setup that I have with the hourly, and then we'll see what might work with the horizontal. So this is going to be my main planner. I call it my daily planner, but it's basically my catch-all, or the one that I put all of the daily tasks and to-dos, my work plans, things like that, goal setting, things that I'm working towards my goals. All that will go into this one planner. So in here I have it set up again with a cover. This is from an old Happy Planner, and then some gold metal discs. I also have these gold foiled cardstock dividers I made a while back, and the inserts that I'm thinking about using. So again, this video took forever because I'm still undecided on so many things, but I am trying out some ideas for the front of this planner, which you can kind of see. So the first overview pages, I'm thinking to combine the month overview that's in my shop, which is this layout exactly. It has this long checklist, dot grid, and then the habit trackers, no header. And I'm going to make this kind of my monthly overview. Right now I'm using it for a monthly to-do list, which I find very helpful to have that here. I also track some habits, which, as I'll explain later, is going to move to another section of the planner, but I may want to keep some habits here. I'm not sure whether or not I want to keep this as is. at the moment, but I have it set up for January as you're seeing here. And then there's a nice empty space of dot grid here that I can use for whatever, which maybe will just be decor, or I might have a reason to fill this out somehow. And then I've used my monthly goals insert. So there's a goals and tasks insert in my shop, but the goals are on the left side of the page. I'm thinking to just use that page, but I moved it to the right. If this is something that ends up working for me, I will redo the one that's currently in my shop so that it can be used left or right in case you guys want to flip it as well. But for now, this is placed on the left because I have eliminated the tasks part, or the weekly tasks element. I used it all for 2023 and it's very helpful, but it's also a bit redundant since I already kind of check my goals each time I'm setting up my weeklies. So I don't necessarily need that in my planner. So I will see what we can come up with here and see if this will work as is without that extra page. So next we have where, again, the monthly spread would normally be in a happy planner. I really want to do a social media schedule, but I also need a monthly schedule. And I couldn't figure out which one would take priority if I just had a 2-page monthly here. So what I thought I would try is doing single-page months side by side, where I can do my monthly schedule here, going over like all of the appointments and events and things for the month. And then over here, this is where I could pre-plan and plan out my social media schedule. I've already started doing a monthly schedule on a single page this year at the back of my current planner, and it was perfect. The amount of space is perfect for the amount of things I have to do, if that makes sense. So I like that. And then here, I haven't tried a social media schedule yet in this size, so we'll see if this is enough space. I think it can be enough. We will see. I might have to do more symbology where, I put like a video icon and maybe track the actual video names that I'm doing here. I also like to put in the posts I'm planning for Instagram. So usually the box is like semi-full on most of the days. So we will see how that goes. But this is my plan, and I'm going to have the monthly tab here. So this should work out well, again, in my flow. So next we have my weekly, and this is where, again, I'm torn. So I currently have both a horizontal and an hourly grid in my planner, and I wanted to eliminate one of those because there are a lot of crossover redundancies. Here, this is the hourly grid, and it has from 6 to 10, which I really love for time blocking. So I have that in here. There's a little bit of space at the top for putting in tasks, but it's really not enough space, and it's not really enough for pre-planning as far as like if I have an appointment and then I have all the tasks I want to do. This space isn't enough, and since I like to pre-plan in this area, kind of sticking things into this area is a little bit tricky. So if I go this route, what I'm thinking is that I would do something where it's an insert, where it would be a half-page insert, and this one is just like a grid layout. And I'd have that in here for maybe putting in just a list of to-dos, or I could divide it into like Monday down to Sunday and then have the appointments for the week here so that I can easily see it while I'm in this planner. I'm also thinking that I would do something like on the back where I could do an Alistair method list where you go from Monday to Sunday across, and then each of the tasks, and then you can kind of track your tasks on this as well. So those are some ideas I have for this as an insert, and this would be not a fold out as you're seeing here, but it would be a half sheet of grid that I would customize to whatever I needed for that week. So that's what I'm thinking. I think that would be good. The only thing is that there's still not really a lot of room for decorating in this spread. So the only real layout right now that I would be doing a lot of heavy decorating in would be my health planner. The faith planner is kind of pre-set up at the beginning, and my hourly, as you can see, really just doesn't have a lot of room to get decorated or to get decorative with. because I do use this from 6 to 10 each day. I have it filled out. So it only gives me a little bit of top room and then on the sidebar. So still undecided on whether this is going to be as is in my planner. I'm going back and forth. I really don't know what I want to do. At the back, though, I have this social stats layout, which was originally in my horizontal layout this year. I've switched the position of it on the days and then just kind of used it in the same manner. I was originally thinking to do my social stats on a yearly basis, but I kind of do like seeing them on a monthly basis as well. So for now, we're going to go with that, but I may add in some annual pages here that are geared towards my social media stats and all that good stuff. So that could come. Again, I'm still working out a lot of these layouts and figuring out what I really want. So this is a tentative design. So if the hourly doesn't end up working out for me, or if I really miss my horizontal, then what my plan is to use this Happy Planner horizontal that I got actually for free, but it's really pretty. I like the design that they did here on this layout. I actually replaced the plastic disc with some metal disc I also got and kind of upped the quality here. I don't like plastic discs very much, so I have that set up. I also am currently using the January layout for pre-planning, but it's a basic Happy Planner. It has the dividers in there with the monthly on the back, which is something I won't be actually using. So I have that monthly and social schedule side by side, single pages. So I won't actually need these pages, but I could use the horizontal since it's already set up and ready to go, kind of save me some time with layouts and such. Yeah, so there would be a lot of technically franken planning with this planner in particular, because I would be each month placing in those other pages here that you just saw in the hourly, and then leaving the weeklies, and then at the back of the weeklies using that social stats page here, kind of like either gluing the pages together or something. So it would be a little bit more franken planned, if you will, putting in what I wanted on each of the pages. So for this, in order to kind of make it work without the hourly planner, I started another type of layout that I thought might work for time blocking. This is, I don't know, it's a little bit obviously smaller. It's basically a week on one page. So I was able to fit 3 columns semi-comfortably on a half sheet, and then I had to divide up Saturday and Sunday. I think I'm going to do an AM and PM setup here. And I'm also thinking that I'm just going to do a half page, so this will be on the back and not a fold out. This could be laid in, and I could do all of my time blocking here, still decorate horizontal and do all my tasks and events here on this spread with the more functional items here, which honestly might be the most visually appealing, although I don't like having my decorated spread split. So I don't know. I keep going back and forth on really what I want, but this is another option I'm thinking about, and hopefully we'll figure out before 2024 gets here. But all the other like front pages and stuff would be the same. It would just be the horizontal layout with the hourly insert, and the opposite, if I decide to go with the hourly grid, it would be that with the kind of grid insert where I could do the, like I said, Alistair method and the days of the week events on that. So technically it's an either or situation with these two planners, but I will figure it out and get that going hopefully by the time we're doing my planner setup video. The final planner that I'm thinking to add in is my budget planner. I've been doing a budget planner for a number of years now. Last year I did one from another small shop, Noted Co., and I really liked a lot of the elements of it, but it wasn't perfect for me. I felt like there were some things that were missing, and then also I felt like there were some tweaks and things that I could add to just make it a little bit better, in my opinion, for myself. I know everybody has different needs budgetarily. I have a more kind of overview look. I don't really drill down too deeply like some viewers do. I will hopefully be adding some worksheets for those viewers, like sinking funds, debt tracking, things like that. But for now, this is more of an overview style budget that's in my shop. And this is, like I said, available in my shop. I am using, let me go back here quick. So I'm using some mini Happy Planner metal discs in gold, along with this cover from a budget planner I got from the Happy Planner in the past. My budget planner doesn't get too bulked up because it's just paper for the most part, no stickers or anything. I'm thinking the mini disc should be enough for a full year, but if I need to upgrade them, I can. I have some in my stash. At the front, there are some annual pages that are included, so I'll put that either at the front or the back of my budget planner, depending on the flow, probably at the back. And then we have a year at a glance, which I printed the pages that I think I would need. The year at a glance is great for seeing those annual type things that come up, like car registration or car insurance for us. Then there's also the yearly overview, which you can put in like your income, your expenses, and your savings each month, and then also make a graph of it. This is very similar to the one I saw in Noted Co., and I really felt like that was really nice to see the visual up and down of, where your income was versus your expenses, vice versa, savings, and then the plus and minus of it. So we have that tracker in there. We also have a yearly payment tracker, which for all of those bills and expenses, I can put in actual amounts that I paid each time to see if there's any fluctuation, like utility bills. It's really nice to see it on an annual level. And if there's, fluctuations during certain seasons, car payments, things like that. So you can just have it all the way across. And then I have an account transactions. So I have a number of bank accounts that I like to keep track of throughout the entire year. So I could put the account name here and then track it. I'll probably use one sheet per bank account until it's filled up and then add in more sheets as needed. So front and back, I'll have transactions for, like our checking and our savings, things like that. So I have a few sheets of those in here. And those are all of the annual pages that I've included. Then we're going to get into the monthly, and these are dividers, again, that I made myself out of some hanging file folders that were really kind of nice and sturdy. So I have those that I reuse pretty often. And then the budget planner has a month at a glance. So this is good for like planning out your bills. You can, put in all the dates and when you have bills throughout the month. And then you can also list those down here, income, expenses. That's how I like to divide mine up. But you can do just like all your bills listed out here, or, both, or whatever else you feel like you might need to use this space for. So that is the month at a glance. We also have the month overview, where you can put in your income, projected, actual, and then all your expenses as well, your main expenses, savings, and then your totals. And this transfers nicely into the annual tracker that you saw over there when you're done. You can just move those numbers right over. Then we have a monthly expenses layout, which is basically just tracking all of the items that we spend on throughout the month. I have 3 pages here per month, so I think that should cover me for our expenses. We usually don't go over 2 pages, but it's just good to have an extra one there, and it kind of like finishes off the month. So that's how I've got it set up, and you can just put in everything and then check it off once it actually clears your bank if you're doing credit cards or debit cards, things like that. So that's it for the first month of my budget, and that's how I'll be using it. Again, this is in my shop as a budget planner, and I have it in all sizes except for a Happy Planner Mini in there that are available in my shop. Check that out if that's something you're interested in. There are a few pages that I did not show that I don't personally need, but there are some redundant pages there with a little bit different layouts if something is, you're looking for like a different type of account tracker per se, or yearly overview. I think I have a few options in there. Lastly, I just want to talk about what I'm thinking for the accessories and things that are going to go into my 2024 planner setup. This is currently set up with my holiday themes. I have some dashboards and dividers all in here that are set up specifically for that. So I will be changing that out for 2024. The things I'm thinking to use include this cover from the Happy Planner. It was a faith cover, and I really kind of like just the gold and the white. This is the cover I'm thinking to use for my start of 2024. I really love these glitter discs, but they are plastic, so I don't know if I would be able to use these. They're also standard size discs, and this is on expander, so I'm guessing I wouldn't be able to use them because it would be too small, but I may be using these expander or finding some gold ones to use with this cover. I also have this sticky dash, which I actually made earlier in the year. I'll be adding that back in. So it's already got some stickies on there. I'll fill it out and make it look prettier, but it has a nice pocket. So it has both a pocket here and it has a pocket here, which is really fun. It was a DIY project. I'll try to link that video down below as well so you guys can easily access it, but I have that in there. I also have the dividers that I used at the beginning of the year that I made up. So I have my inbox, goals, productivity, schedules, reference, notes, and that's it. So those are the 6 dividers. So I'll be putting these dashboards back in. Let me know if you guys are interested. I can add these to my shop. I did some for fall and that turned out pretty well. So I think I can easily add these if that's something you would like to see with edible headers here. Just let me know and I'll work on that and try to get that done before 2024 hits. I also have some dividers I made just using some free pictures that I found online just to have a little bit more of a cool winter theme. So I just printed those out last year. I'll just reuse those. Those will be going into my reference section, which I'll explain more when I do my planner setup, but I have those ready to go. I also, I skipped over this because I put it right behind the inbox. I also have a fresh inbox ready to go for 2024. It's exactly the same as it is this year. I'll just move over any tasks that I haven't completed or scheduled here and start off 2024 from the one that's currently in my planner. I also have 2 pages back to back in case I have a lot of inbox items I need to tackle. Also have my next steps, waiting on projects, and then my someday list. So these are all available in my Getting Things Done inbox insert that's available in my shop. If that's something you're looking for, it is in there. And I do really find this to be very useful for long-term task management. We also have some yearly pages that I'll be adding in to the front of my planner in the schedule section. So I have, of course, the annual overview, and this one I have put in the new tabs I'll be using for 2024. I'm currently using Happy Planner dashboards for all of my top tabs. Mainly they're these Happy Planner dashboards, which are, for the most part, these 3/4 page size and fairly thick plastic. And these have been working out great for me. I have used these year after year. However, I would like to try something a little bit less thick, see if I can actually bring down the bulk of my planner a bit. And also too, it sometimes gets in the way when I'm writing, say I'm doing something here, the bump of the tab gets in the way occasionally when I'm writing in my planner. So it was just something that was a little bit irksome, but I could, deal with it or move around it. But I found these on the Live Love Posh website. She was doing a Black Friday sale and they were very affordable. I think I got each set of 4 top tabs for $6 or $7. So I thought that was a really good deal. And the plastic is super thin, perfectly see-through. I love that. And we've got 4 tabs. So I went ahead and bought, I think, 5 of them so I could reset my entire planner with these tabs. That's what you were seeing here at the front. I had this is what they were called. So they were the clear top dividers, and then they also included these labels sheets as well. which is nice if you have trouble labeling your dividers. Although I like to do my own labels, but I'm really happy that I was able to get these at such a good price. I've also DIY'd my own in the past. My yearly one is a DIY this year. This one here is a DIY I did. But all of them are fairly thick as far as the thickness. This is really thin. I mean, this is almost paper thin, which I really love about it, actually. Some people might not like that, but I really like the idea that it's so much more condensed and streamlined. So anyway, so I have at the front here my year to glance. So this will be the first tab, and then it will go into something new, a new layout I'm going to try out for habit tracking. This is sort of based off of something I saw in a Hobonichi, along with, I think Plan to Create does one too for her planner. It's a little bit similar to that, and I just thought that was a really good idea. So I kind of made one, for my shop, one that's a little bit more my style of my shop, but has space here for you to put whatever you want to track for the month. So you can either put, habits or just anything that you want to have here. And then you can check them off vertically down as you go each month. So it's like an annual way to track different things. So this is where I was talking about I might add those daily habits into this area. That's what I'm thinking. I like the idea of being able to see how I was doing for the entire year kind of in this one area. So I'm not exactly sure which habits yet I want to track here, but that's what I'm thinking to use this for. And then we have, of course, my future log, which I'll be doing basically exactly the same kind of layout as I did this year with the color-coded dots up here and then the corresponding events and appointments below. This worked out great. I loved it, and we'll just basically do that again. I have no complaints over this system at all. It works perfectly for me. And then there's a tab at the back, which is something I want to add, which will have my important dates and holidays insert here. The reason that it's not on the very back page is because I also like to keep this area open for future planning for 2025. So as usually like October, November hits, I start to get things that are going into 2025. So this is where I've been tracking that kind of stuff in my planner. So I'll keep this page open and then probably add in an insert for important dates and holidays just to have it in here. I may also put that at the in between here, the 2024, 2025 insert, depending on how I design it. I might do it on vellum, which could be kind of nice as an overlaid item, but we will see. So that's what I'm thinking for that. And then I have the rest of the sets of tabs in the back to do the same kind of organization with those 4 planners that I showed you earlier and kind of create my flow. I'll label them out and have it all ready to go. So that's what I'm thinking for some of the accessories I'll be adding in. I also have some note paper here at the back, which I'll put in the back of my planner. And then, of course, the back cover of this planner. So that's pretty much it for this lineup video. I've kind of went through what I'm thinking for 2024, some of the things I'll still be working out, and the accessories so far that I've decided on for my new planner setup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye!